Today's episode of the Natural Habitat Podcast is probably brought to you by Icy Tokes. Icy Tokes are refreezable glass cubes that you put in your freezer and then you put in your bong. For the coolest toke and no excess water melt or bullshit, you don't have to change the water level in your bong. You just take them out by the little handle, put them back in the freezer, and they're ready to go in 15 minutes. So go to icytokes.com today and get yourself a set and make sure you let them know that we sent you. It's Thanksgiving, motherfuckers. You're probably with your family or all alone about to kill yourself, and you found this podcast, and you want... That was sad what I just said. I'm sorry. Don't kill yourself. I take that back. But you found this podcast, and we are an escape for you. So I was going to start this podcast with make it sound like a mock phone call so that you could get out of the room, but I didn't want to break tradition. I start everyone the same way, so... here we are. We're going to talk about the history of Thanksgiving, our, memories of the time of year and what we're thankful for, and what you should be doing and be thanking. I don't know. I'm too high for this. Just go ahead and light one up, relax, and we'll take it from here.
The Natural Habitat Podcast. Habitat Podcast. The Natural Habitat Podcast.
Wow. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Natural Habitat Podcast. My name is Mikey Booyah.
My name's Unknown.
And Joey, he was having some sort of problem with his microphone over the past handful of episodes. Some sort of setting got switched somewhere, and he just switched it back. So now he has the clear voice of a god. Lay it on him, Joey.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. That's good. That's all you need.
That's how you do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Today is Thanksgiving. We were celebrating with our respective families, and we decided to sneak out and do a little podcast and see what everybody's up to out there in the world. I hope that you guys are having a great day. I hope that there's some food in the oven and you're not being tortured too much by your in-laws or whoever you're stuck with. But right now, you're outside, you're smoking weed, and you're chilling with us. So thank you for being here. How do you feel about Thanksgiving, Joey? Is it a good time of year for you? You get excited?
Yeah, yes and no. Yeah, usually because it's always a good time to be around family. There's always plenty of good food, but lately mine's a little different. I moved away, so it's like there's two holidays too close to each other, right? You know what I mean? So I can't go home for both of them. So I got to pick either Christmas or Thanksgiving, and usually Christmas wins out.
We all know Christmas is your shit.
Yeah, so we're just doing our own thing, which is not a bad thing because I'm very adept myself. So I'm a good cook. I like to cook, and I don't mind sitting back and getting super high all day and cooking some good food and watching some football and being with the one I love, family can't always make it, but like I said, we'll be there in a couple weeks, so it all makes up for itself. I mean, I'm sure other people go through the same shit that I'm going through. They have to pick and choose their holidays. So for all of you out there that are going through the same thing, it ain't no thing, you little turkeys.
You turkeys. All right. So first of all, I would like to... I'm one of the people around Thanksgiving time that likes to run around and tell everybody the real story of Thanksgiving, because a lot of people still don't know that shit. Like, up until...
Yeah. And my girlfriend's Native American.
Yeah, and, so you know more than anyone that there's two sides of this story. And there's one side that is, in history books, it is taught in school, and it pretty much, it says kind of all broken down that in 1621, some pilgrims came and landed on Plymouth Rock. They stayed there through the winter, and they all died. Or this was in 1620. Like, half of them died. And then the Indians taught them how to grow food, how to use fish scales for fertilizer and shit. And they had a bountiful harvest that year. So the next year, in 1621, they decided to have a 3-day-long feast with the Indians. And they were really just eating with themselves. And then they started shooting off their guns, and the Indians came to find out what was happening. And they were like, no, we're good. We're just happy. Do you want to hang out and have some food? And it was people from different cultures treating each other like the same, working together, helping each other. And it's a great, fun, loving story, full of, prosperity, peace, happiness, and also bullshit. Mostly bullshit.
Yeah, but I think most people can just put it aside, right? I do feel that it's fucking outrageous that these kind of stories are still told to children. Yeah. Because as a kid, you grow up and you believe this shit. You know what I mean? Right? You really think like, that the Indians were savages and we're fucking helping them out, when really it was the opposite. You know what I mean? It's like those people lived in harmony with the land, and we destroy it. And it's proven everywhere we go. If you look at any indigenous people now, they still live in harmony with the land. They have zero pollution. They have fucking no problems. None of the fucking first world problem bullshit that we have that's currently destroying the planet. So it's like, it's all in good, kind-hearted fun. You know what I mean? Fairy tales are fairy tales, right? Yeah. You believe in God, you like fairy tales. You believe in Santa, you like fairy tales. You believe in Thanksgiving, you like fairy tales. You know what I mean? And it's comes from a good place, right? They really meant well, but at the same time, they're doing a horrible injustice by belittling an entire race, and you know what I mean, and all the bullshit aside. But I think that for the most part, people realize it, especially nowadays in the new PC world that we live in. Yeah.
With South Park did their whole History Channel episode on Thanksgiving that one year. Yeah. And South Park does a lot to expose things to the world. You know what I mean? It's sad to say, but South Park's on it, and they definitely they expose a lot of shit to people that normally wouldn't know or wouldn't care. And
so besides the horrific regular details of what actually happened, the real meaning of Thanksgiving is just to break bread with loved ones. You know what I mean? It's to have a good time with people that you love, and to realize the things that you're thankful for in your life. So regardless of a backstory, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of whatever hardships or whatever fakeness or whatever it comes from, the point is good and that it means well. So Thanksgiving is like, it's a great time to be with family. I think it just needs to, just to be recognized at that and just let it go. You know what I mean? I mean, the story sucks, especially like it's me being with a Native American. You know what I mean? It's like, it's hard to see how the things that they have to go to and the stereotypes that they face and the way that the history books continue to disrespect them, the way that they still don't get their dues. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, it's crazy, man. It's really crazy to see all the things that happen. Like, and even Indian tribes get money from the government, right? They get this money from themselves, and they don't pay taxes, and they pool all their money together to pay their people in their tribe to ensure them moving on into the future. They pay for their tribe's college fees. They pay for everything. They get money biannually. So every 6 months they get a check from their tribe when you can prove your lineage and everything. And you know what I mean? And that's to extend the tribe into the future. It's to make sure that they have smart people. It's to make sure that their people are taken care of. It's to make sure all these things, right? Well, we owed them that. That's why they got them in the first place. We came here, we conquered, we took all their shit, and now we're supposed to be giving back. And then somebody becomes a governor in California, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then starts taxing their money that we owe them. So, like, there's a lot of fucked up shit going on. Like, they're supposed to be able to grow
that's
weed
really fucked up
whenever they want to on all their fucking land. You know what I mean? They're supposed to be able to do whatever they want. They're a sovereign nation, which means we can't tell them shit.
Yeah, they're a country within a country.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're a fucking sovereign people. We're not supposed to be able to say shit, but here we are taxing them, raiding their fucking lands, and busting them for trying to grow weed and shit when it's supposed to be illegal. We're totally extorting them, dude, and it's fucked up. Nothing's
really changed. And then we teach all the kids all this bullshit. And, you know, still today in Plymouth, Massachusetts, you can, if you're in there, in the city limits of Plymouth, you have two options of what you can do. You can go to the official parade where townspeople dress up like pilgrims and they march up to Plymouth Rock bearing blunderbusses and beating drums. All right. So these are just a bunch of white privileged people walking around dressed like super racist, like pilgrims. And then they have like probably Mexican people dressed like Indians, and it's just all bad. Or
at
the same time, you can go on the other side of town at the top of Coles Hill, where the indigenous people go and they fast. They don't eat anything all day, and they observe the National Day of Mourning, which is in remembrance to the destruction of the Indian culture and its peoples. So that's in the same city limits. There's two giant things happening that are on two opposite ends of the spectrum, but that never gets taught in school ever. You never hear about the National Day of Mourning. You know what I mean?
So here's a positive, right? We live in this new PC culture that's horrible for comedy, horrible for fucking any other, like a lot of shit, right? Like it's really bad for fucking a lot of things, but it has good aspects. And the good aspects are the fact that things change. So now, like, instead of a Columbus Day, a lot of states are adapting an Indigenous Peoples Day, which I think is super commendable. You know, I think that is smart. That's what it should be. Tell the fucking truth. You know what I mean? It's like, it's cool that all these things were semi-factual at one time, but when things change and you find out more of the truth, everything should be updated. Yeah. It's the same thing with the caveman. It's the same thing with everything, right? Like history changes when you find out more of the truth, when you find out the facts, right? So when there's a new truth, everything should be rewritten. I don't understand why some of these things are still being taught in schools. Yeah. Or why, and we know what I mean? Like, we have more, we have more access to information now. So, you know, you can't really just tell people this is how it is and this is why it is. Yeah. Read it in this book and it'll prove it. You know what I mean? You can look it up yourself and find it out. And I think that has a lot to do with it. And I think that, you know, things like this are going to change eventually because, you know, what it is it's the power. Grandma, if you're listening, turn off the episode now. It's the power of the Christian religion and the fucking crazy shit that they've been doing. Cause when I was reading about like, it was like the pilgrims that came over and all these, they were called Puritans. And they came over, they were Christian Puritans and they were fucking crazy. And it was right in the middle of them being super nuts and trying to spread. They would just plant crosses everywhere and kill anybody who didn't agree with them. And but do you remember why they left in the first place?
To escape religious prosecution?
Exactly. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's how do you go from running from one religion to come over here and make up a new batshit crazy one?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, religion is the single-handedly most harmful thing to the human race ever.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you think, and regardless of if you imagine there's a God, if you think there has to be something more to life, whatever. You need a higher power to get you through the day, so be it. But I'm telling you, more harm has come from religion than good ever. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
And that's
it's like the dumbing down of the people in the Dark Ages was all because religion. Every fucking thing that's ever happened all stems from religion.
Yep. And that's what I was looking up. I started looking up all the things that, you know, the Christian church is responsible for. And, you know, I was reading about like the Crusades and all this crazy shit. And it was talking about the types of people and, you know, the times when, like, it was like a timeline of horrible shit that had happened at the hands of the Christian church in the name of God and Jesus Christ. And, one thing that isn't really related to Thanksgiving And it's like, I know that, it's a stereotype that Jewish people have been persecuted forever more than anyone, but their list was fucking longer than anyone else's by far. And it was like, 4th century, 5th century, 1300, 1400, and it just kept going all the way up to Auschwitz, like just persecution all the way throughout their history and at the hands of the Christian church. Like, it's the worst fucking thing ever. It breeds ignorance. It breeds fucking ego. People think that they're the chosen ones if they're in the Christian religion, and it makes it so you could do whatever the fuck you want and just ask forgiveness. So it encourages these horrible behaviors, and it shuns everything else that doesn't agree with them. And, that is to blame for a lot of this shit. And I will stand behind it.
Here's my theory, right?
Cannabis.
Like, the human condition is tough. The human condition is hard as fuck. It's hard to be a human. It's hard to be caught up in your head. It's hard to deal with the thoughts and the speculation and the wonderment of everything that goes on in your life, right? It's just hard. Times become stressful. Sometimes people need something outside themselves to get them through whatever, right? Well, I'm all for it. I'm all for whatever gets you through the day. If you think that you need God to get you through the day, then so be it. I don't care. I'm not against religion. I don't care what people do with their lives as long as it doesn't dictate how somebody else lives their life.
Exactly.
Just because you're Christian doesn't mean we have to be.
Yeah.
Just because you believe something doesn't mean we have to believe it. It doesn't make your belief right. It doesn't make our belief right. I feel like science is the ultimate goal, right? Like, if science can prove something, it's a fact, regardless of what you fucking want to believe or not. The earth was not created 2,000 years ago or 6,000 years ago or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everything, you have to look at things from a realistic point of view. Now, like I said about the fairy tale parts, people want to, they always contradict themselves and quote all these verses, Bible verses, everything else to try to prove points, but then again, it always proves them wrong. And you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not trying to downplay anybody's religion.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
not trying to downplay where anybody comes from.
I see what you're saying, and that's a good point.
I'm just trying to downplay the actions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, actions speak louder than anything. If you treat people like shit because you think you're better than them because you're a Christian, I got news for you. You're the fucking douchebag.
Yeah.
You're the piece of shit, and everybody's laughing at you.
You're
You
the
know what I mean?
problem.
Nobody is better than anybody. And that's what it really boils down to. And you can't preach at people and think that, like, oh, you're doing them a favor or whatever it is, right?
Because it's like
be
Jehovah's
Christian.
Jehovah's
be
are the
religious,
ones.
Be you.
Jehovah's are the ones that are all about, getting more people into the religion and going and reaching out. Christians shouldn't really care about that. And it's like, if you were really in your one type of religion and you thought all the other ones were wrong, then why would you want a lot of other people there? You want lines in heaven? Like, you want it to just be like your little crew and your family.
Besides that, it isn't Christian to fucking hate on people. It isn't the Christian thing to do to treat people like shit. You're supposed to help your brothers. You're supposed to help your neighbor. You're supposed to love your neighbor. You're supposed to do all these things that the commandments say to do, but you don't do it because you're not the real thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you swear by it, do it. Why do we have homeless people? The church is untaxable, yet we have millions and millions of homeless people here. If the church was about doing the Christian thing, why aren't they feeding the homeless everywhere? Why aren't they housing the homeless everywhere? They don't pay taxes, right? The churches should be building homeless housing units in every city. They should be building public showers in every city. They should be building public restaurants and places where poor people or homeless people could go eat. They should be leading by example and not fucking discounting and saying, oh, well, you need Jesus. Ask Jesus for help, and maybe you will receive your help.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
That doesn't do anything.
What I mean?
That doesn't help me at all. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Do the Christian thing and help people out. Who's donating shit for Thanksgiving this year? Who's going out to help the homeless? Who's going out to do anything? I guarantee you more hipsters are doing shit than Christians.
You know what?
I guarantee you that more rich people are fucking donating more shit than more Christians, and they're not fucking tax free.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a shitty thing. Now, when I say Christians, I don't mean you people that believe in God listening. I'm talking about the organization. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the heads of everything, the heads of churches, the heads of the fucking Vatican or whatever. Whoever the rules come from and it's handed down from the top down, those are the ones that I'm speaking at. Those are the ones that should be leading by example, not telling us what the fuck we should do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean, here we are in 2015, coming in 2016, and we still have homelessness, we still have hunger, we still have people going without water and power, we still have things that should be afforded to all of us because we're all equal as human beings on the same fucking planet.
Yeah, it's
you know
like, look at Detroit.
Like,
Detroit's dying. Like, send some fucking Christians out to Detroit to do some shit.
Exactly, you know what I mean? We have places here in America that are done, son. New Orleans, fucking Detroit, all these places that are just rotting right in front of us, and we're not doing anything to help them. But here we are spending millions or billions of dollars by sending fucking effort overseas to help displaced people. Now, I'm not discounting that. I'm not discounting what we do as a country, even though we do fucked up shit. I'm just saying that this holiday is supposed to be revolved around a religion. This is one of those, you know. The same with Christmas. Christmas is supposed to be a religious holiday too. Now, regardless of where all this shit stemmed from, you know, it's still supposed to have a meaning today. It's still supposed to, like, travel over, you know what I mean? It's supposed to be, like, you know, people are supposed to remember the actual meaning and not the fucking socialness, not the social awareness holiday. This isn't a fucking shopping day. This isn't even though that's what it turned into, you know what I mean? And
that's
you know
that's why the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade happened, because they're trying to get people into the store. So it's the beginning of the Christmas shopping season.
Right.
But it helps the economy.
You know
what I mean?
Right,
we need an
that's
economy.
what I'm saying. You gotta have good money in the economy. You gotta have money flowing, which is a good thing. But you gotta be helping people along too. You know what I mean? And I just feel like the biggest hypocrites are the ones that are in power. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted that there's not public showers. I'm disgusted that there's not public housing. I'm disgusted that all this shit is still taking place right here in front of our faces, and we just
while the preacher's
downplay.
driving a Bentley back and forth to his fucking giant church, his castle of a church.
That's all tax free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we're not stupid. People that give money to the church are stupid. They're rich as fuck already. Mm-hmm. You don't need to donate. What are they doing to help you personally?
Yeah, it's like what
are they doing? What are they doing to help your neighborhood? What are they doing to help your personal community?
Yeah, what you're getting is that small community of people that are there, the camaraderie, meeting people help each other out at church. You know what I mean? And that's good. What that is it's a village. That's a village coming together because people are designed to work in groups of like 100. So a church is like a perfect group for people. You can know everyone's name, you know what's going on, you know all that shit. And it's easy to keep up with, so there's really nothing wrong with that because that's human nature. But when it comes into, you know, the church asking for money, you know, making all these decisions and deciding where things go, those are the people that are at wrong. So if you went to church, you know, yesterday or some sort of Thanksgiving thing, or you go to church every week, that's fine. That's your choice as, you know, as a human being. So you can do whatever you want, just like we can. But
be nice about it. Don't be a dick.
I think that
don't think you're better than.
I think that this year everybody should try, instead of remembering what you're thankful for, which you should also do. I mean, be thankful for the things that you have in your life, but you should also try to go out of your way to make someone else thankful for you. Like, thankful that they have you, that you did something for them, someone that you love, someone you care about, you know, like, do something nice for them, a nice gesture. Even just give them a call and say what's up, and try to.
Yeah, we're all stuck here together.
Try to spread that positivity, and you know that's really what this time of the year is all about: is bringing everyone together so that Christmas isn't super weird. You know, right? You get together; it's like a practice for Christmas.
I'm all for whatever gets you through the day, whatever gets you through. You know, if you're religious and you grow that way, you grown up that way, and like that's all you know, then that's good. But respect us too. You know what I mean? Have love for everybody like you're supposed to as a Christian. Do something for somebody else outside of yourself. I know a lot of you do. I'm not saying any of our listeners are the coolest people out there. So I guarantee that they agree with a lot of what we're saying. Whether or not they agree with our plight on fucking religion doesn't matter. They still think that our hearts are in the right place, and it is. You know what I mean? I think in a perfect world, it would be the government and the church working together to provide all these things for everybody. You know, people that don't need them won't use them. You know, rich people aren't going to go to the fucking place to get a free meal. Rich people aren't looking for free housing, even though a lot of them do, and they're douchebags and probably would soak it up. I mean, like, you know, people got other agendas and other things that they're trying to do and whatever else. So I feel like we're already paying taxes into this shit. The churches don't pay taxes. Why not take the two and blend them together and make everything better for everybody? You know what I'm saying?
Because they don't want to give up all their money, because that's power. Yeah. But that reminds me about that Harvest Festival that I just went to. They did to buy a booth. It was $200 worth of toys or canned food, and then to get into the festival, just as like, you know, just someone like a patron that wants to go, it was $20 worth of toys or canned food. So they're fucking, the pile of toys and food was ridiculous. Like, I took a picture of it and posted it on our Instagram, NH Podcast Live. You can go check that out. And it's just a fucking giant, huge pile of toys, huge pile of food. And I guess a couple weeks earlier, the Santa Maria Police Department did like a toy drive, Toys for Tots toy drive. And the Harvest Festival, a bunch of stoners sitting around doing dabs, got twice as many toys as the cops did. And that's not
of course.
And that's not counting food. You know what I mean? And he set that shit all up on a table in a park and fucking like had been promoting it for a couple weeks, like free food and toy giveaway, and just gave it out to people. Anybody that wants to come and get some shit, come and get some shit. You don't have to be homeless and like go through paperwork and do all this. Like, it's just like, you know, people that need it are going to be there. People that don't need it aren't going to show up to that. No one's going to show up to steal toys from children. You know what I mean? So it was
and shout out to the stoners, the most compassionate people on the planet.
Yep. And that's what the cops showed up, and they kind of looked around and shook hands with the dude that was running it and then left. Because you're not going to be the cop to shut that down. You're not going to be the Grinch cop on the force that takes all those cops.
They can't do it anyways.
Yeah. So, well,
there's permits and everything. They can't do shit.
I don't know. The way that they were doing it was pretty illegal. That's all I'm going to say. No. That's all I'm going to say. So, yeah, man, it was dope. It was a good thing to see everybody coming together and, you know, spreading love for the kiddies.
Yeah. You know, I know that we got kind of harsh on the vibe, but I feel like it's needed. You know, I feel like people don't look at shit for what it really is. I feel like things become socially acceptable and people just brush the shit off.
Yeah.
And that's not the way to be. You know, the way to be is proactive. Your actions speak louder than words. If everybody does something, the world changes. You know what I'm saying? If everybody donates time or something, the world changes. People get by. People get what they need. If some rich benefactor donated public showers in your city, watch what happens. You know, I honestly feel like the homeless people would be able to take care of themselves better. They would become more presentable. They'd be slowly brought back into society instead of outcasts. You know what I mean? There's so many simple, small fixes that could change everything. You just got to do it.
Yep.
There's people out there every year that are busting their fucking ass to donate food or to donate their time or to fucking go help people out, go into food lines or whatever to feed the homeless, going to do all these things. And that shit is super commendable, but I don't think there's enough of it. You know what I mean? I feel like everybody could do something. Everybody, while you're sitting at home with your family right now, enjoying this time of year, you're feeling all this love and happiness and gratitude and thankfulness, and your bellies are full, and I just feel like you should feel a little bit of guilt too. Just a little bit of guilt, make you feel like, you know, maybe you should do a little bit more.
Yeah.
Maybe next year you'll do a little bit more. Maybe the year after that you'll do a little bit more. Pretty soon, you know what I mean? We could get past things. We could get past homelessness. Homelessness doesn't have to be a thing here.
No.
But it is. You know what I mean? Mental illness, you know what I mean? All the things that come along with it. I think people just cast people aside because they don't want to deal with it, instead of looking in the mirror and realizing, hey, that's your brother, that's your uncle, that's your fucking grandpa out there, that's your fucking dad, that's whoever, you know what I mean? It's like, all these people out there got family, where they at?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know. I feel like we could all do a little more. We're doing our part by doing this podcast and trying to change people's minds about things. And we love everybody. We just want to see some more compassion. We want to see, hey, you know what? If it was mandatory for Christians to smoke weed, I feel like the world's problems could have been solved.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I agree. So it's like you never know. You know, keep your hearts and minds open. You know what I mean? Do something for the greater good of everybody, and just watch the world blossom. You know, I mean, all the problems can be fixed. Everything in this world could change. Everything that is bad can be good. You know, it takes all of us.
Yeah,
so
it really does.
We love you guys.
It starts with you, and it starts with us. You know, one man. Yeah. Like I say it a lot, but the world is what you make it, and if you put positivity out into the world, there's going to be a little bit more positivity to negativity ratio than there was before. So, the more positivity you put out, other people will become positive. They'll put out positivity. And, you know, if everybody's putting out negativity, that's not a cool place to live. So, the universe is what you make it. And I think that, you know, everyone can do a little bit more no matter what you're doing. So, even if you are out there helping, you're not doing enough. Keep it going. But yeah, that's a good point. We do love you guys. Everybody's trying. And, you know, it's really just all about staying aware, putting yourself in check every once in a while.
Not being a dick.
And not being a dick. You know, there's billions of people in this world, and there's another billion is being added on every like 15 years or something. So
yeah, we're all related.
We got to work together.
We're all human. You know what I mean? There's only one human race.
And another thing that we could all do together as one is get high.
Hell yeah. That is super positive and great segue. Mm-hmm. Gobble, gobble.
Yep. So everybody out there, if you are not familiar with our NHP Smoke Sesh, then this is how it goes. I'm going to play some music. We're going to smoke here in the studio. I am here. Joey is somewhere else in the world. He does like a different city every day, like Carmen Sandiego style. And so we are going to be smoking. You are going to be smoking with us. And then someone else is going to listen to it next week, and they are going to be smoking. But we're all going to be smoking together at different times, if that makes sense. So,
and turkey always tastes better after a nice joint or a bong load or a pipe load or, you know, an edible or a dab or whatever you got going. So,
or what have you. So
yeah,
this is definitely going to enhance your turkey experience. I'm having a medicated turkey this year. I'm excited about it. We got some can of butter.
Awesome.
In
Honestly,
the freezer.
I'm kind of jealous.
I saw that recipe that was posted on Facebook, and it was on your wall, I believe. And then it was all over.
Me and my girl started a new tradition, and we're not doing turkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
We're doing beef.
Beef. You know
beef.
They sell these things now. We had one like a few weeks ago and it was hella bomb, but it's like a turkey like breast. It's like some dark meat and some light meat, and it's just all like wrapped up in fucking twine. You know what I mean? And it looks almost like a little rump roast, but that shit was like the dankest turkey I ever had. We almost just got one of those.
You know what else I want to see? I want to see everybody's hashtag NHP Smoke Sesh picks, but I want to see everybody's meal picks too.
Yeah.
Show us how you're all getting down. I want to see everybody take a picture of your dinner and post that shit, and let's see what everybody's eating on, and you know what I mean? Yeah. That's going to be cool.
Hashtag that shit NHP Turkey Day.
Yep. NHP Turkey, NHP Smoke Sesh, NHP every day.
NHP every day. And then also hashtag it NHP, I scream, you scream, we all scream for the Natural Habitat Podcast. All one word. If somebody hashtags that, you get a prize.
Yeah.
All right. Here is our music. I fucking heard this song a few days ago, and it's been stuck in my head ever since. So this is what we're using. It started loud. It's always fun when you have to type into Google, what's that song that goes, bum bum, bum bum beat-um? It was like,
Nice.
so many songs came up. Because for some reason it's a thing for people to go into Google and go, what's that song that goes, da na 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 da da da?
I can't wait till Google has the talk feature, on a computer. It already has it on the phones, on some apps where you just push the button and voice search.
Yeah.
We need that shit on the home computer.
Right?
We need to talk to it like Siri. Like, hey, Google, how's your day today?
Dude, that'd be awesome.
Can you show me what the Varsity Dropouts are up to?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It should just pop up, play some of our joints, you know what I'm saying?
That'd be cool because
yeah.
then if I think of something, you know what I mean? Like something pops in my head and I want to Google it, then I could just be like, oh yeah, so blah, 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 what about this? And then as I'm saying it, I couldn't even think of something. But say if I want to be like, I wonder what the weather's like in Bristol, then I could be like, yeah, I wonder what the weather's like in Bristol. And then it'll fucking type it out and then it'll search it for me.
Rainy. It's always raining there.
Rainy. Let's see what the weather's like in Bristol.
Okay.
Hey, it fucking worked. 51 degrees Fahrenheit. My microphone works on my Google.
Cloudy?
On my laptop.
Cloudy with a chance of drizzle?
With a chance of turkey. I don't know. It was a fucking bad cloudy with a chance of meatballs joke. But,
So, what was your Thanksgivings like growing up?
my childhood Thanksgivings were...
Like, what was your part that you looked forward to most? Like, what did you have like a favorite relative that would come, or like, you know what I mean? Did you go to a favorite relative's house, or like any things like that people can relate to?
Well, I know that probably my most memorable Thanksgivings were when I was around like 12 or 13. We moved into my aunt and uncle's house. Me and my mom moved into my aunt and uncle's, and I was living there with my cousin and everything, and that's when me and my cousin started running around and doing all kinds of drugs together and shit. But I remember on Thanksgiving, it was before they built the house next door, so it was just a lot, and there was all kinds of like BMX jumps and shit that he had built back there.
Yeah.
But there was a big old tree, and we would go out there, and we would either climb up into the tree, or we would take my uncle's boom truck, because he worked for like the power company. So he would have this boom truck, and we would take the boom and go all the way up into the sky, just straight up as high as we can go. And we would blaze up there so that nobody could smell it. And the weed would just fucking go and like fly away into the wind. And we would just say that we were smoking cigarettes. And
Smart.
that was probably the best thing ever out of any family holiday or get together, is stumbling in with your cousin just high as fuck. And everybody's looking at you weird. And you're like, what? Where's the turkey at? And it's just the best meal ever. So
yeah,
I'm gonna say that's it. And the sad thing is that me and him don't get along anymore. I haven't talked to him in years. He tried to call the cops on me last time I talked to him. So
I think a lot of people go through the same thing. I have similar situations with cousins and shit too that I don't talk to anymore. But I feel like the same thing for me. Really, my fondest memories was just that. It was just being around the right people, like getting to be with all my brothers and my cousins and shit was always cool because the grown-ups always did their thing. We always did our fucking thing.
Yeah.
And it was very proactive in our childhoods. It wasn't like, oh, let's go sit on the fucking internet. Oh, let's go watch TV all day. Nah, we was outside doing shit.
Yeah, go ride your bikes across town.
Yeah, we was fucking BMXing it or skating it or building shit or breaking shit or fucking whatever. You know what I'm saying? One year for my cousin's birthday, his dad gave him this old beat up car that didn't run or anything so we could destroy it. And we fucking destroyed that thing for days straight, bro. Like, it was the funnest thing ever. Dope. It was probably one of the best memories ever of my entire life. One of the best gifts ever given to us was that, because we sat there with bats and fucking sledgehammers and anything we could get, and we just beat the fuck out of that thing till the wheels fell off of it. You know what I mean? Like, literally, we beat the wheels off of the car and shit. You know what I mean? Like, we fucking destroyed that thing.
That's dope.
And it was so constructive with our time. You know what I mean? Like, we got so much anger and tension out as kids. You know, being adolescent kids, like, always fucking, you know, that's one of the most stressful mental times of your life. You know what I mean? You're being wound up. You like don't really know how to like adjust to the outside world yet. You know what I mean? All these things are going on, and you know, so it was like it just always really stood out to me that was fucking cool. You know what I mean? Like they weren't ever gonna do nothing with that car. You know?
Yeah.
He's like, here, destroy this.
That's dope.
Like, what?
That's a great. That's a great gift.
Yeah, you know. So I think like for me, those times was like those Thanksgiving times, you know, stuff like that, like those type of experiences that I would have with my cousins and my brothers, and you know, when we just got to do whatever we want to do, you know what I mean? Like life was so much more fun when we could just like imagine everything. Everything was imagination, you know what I mean? Like we could just go out anywhere in an empty field and figure out some fun ass shit to do, and it would be epic in our minds.
Fuck yeah.
And we would fucking remember it forever, and we probably looked really weird from an outside view, but you know, like, it was so much fun, dude. I can't explain it. You know what I mean? I think everybody's gone through it. Everybody remembers that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we look at it now, like, kids nowadays, oh, they just watch TV or shit. But they got imaginations and shit, too. They're kids, you know? They always will. It's the same. It's always going to be the same, no matter what. People just repeat. You know what I mean? It's like theirs is just a little better because they got shit that we didn't have. So we're kind of jealous and hating. You know what I mean?
You don't do nothing.
But, yeah,
you don't do nothing like I did.
Yeah, so, you know, and that's always going to be a thing. You know, it's like, oh, back in my day, you know, type of thing. You know what I mean? And that'll never end, you know. But
and it's cool because, you know, these memories that we are both, you know, so fond of, there's some people that are out there living those memories right now. There's some kid that is listening to this podcast outside smoking weed, and he's about to go in looking super high, and you know, maybe he'll after listening to this, he'll be like, you know what? Instead of sitting and playing the new Tomb Raider game, which is super fresh, I'm gonna go and you know ride my bike across town or something, and ride over here or go for a walk or some shit, and get out of my house and go out and experience the world. Eventually, we're all gonna die, and you know, there's only so many things you can see in a lifetime. So don't look at the same thing every day, all day. Get out there. Live your life, be nice to people, and spread positivity. Tell them that Mikey Booyah and Joey Black sent you, and give them a big old hug and a kiss right on the face.
Don't make a podcast and do the same thing every day over and over again. Go do stuff so we can talk about it.
Yeah. Don't do that.
It's an even trade.
Mm-hmm. Well, bada boom. That's it. We should probably let our listeners get back inside because they've been outside on this quick phone call. Just
right.
You know, for about 45 minutes.
Well, we only did this because we love you. You know,
yeah.
We didn't want to miss out on the episode just because, you know, everybody's gonna be busy doing shit. We did it because we look forward to it, and we hope you do too. You know what I mean? We're just trying to share the love. We could easily be doing shit with our families right now, but
you are our families.
We take the you know, so we make it priority. We're trying we're trying to spread that positivity like always, and try to like, you know, throw some insight out there from our point of view, and hope somebody out there can kind of see things the same.
Yeah, and you know, we encourage you to make your own opinion about all the shit that we talk about. We have our opinions, but we also try to give you facts and information so that you can make your own decisions based on your own brain, because that's what it's all about, really. Find your own path. Find who you are.
Yep. You can tell us to fuck off, too.
We're getting real motivational. I'm done. We're done.
Yep. All right. Well, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Happy holidays. We'll see you on the Saturday matinee.
Yep.
Peace, bitches.
The Natural Habitat Podcast.